Kylie Jenner trying to recreate King Kylie and reheat her own nachos is not hitting the way it's supposed to because she's not fucking a black man no more.
There wouldn't be King Kylie without black culture.
The King Kylie era will never come back because the King Kylie era was really just her appropriating black culture.
I don't want her to come back. Stay where you're at. The Kardashians, the Jenners are notoriously known for their, let's say, their love of black culture.
Daily reminder, being black is profitable. Now, everybody is reminding us that King Kylie came to life because she was dating black men. And that is a thrill she misses and she needs to bring it back. And people are saying, well, unfortunately, we are kind of like salty about it because you're not going to be benefiting of black culture, pretending to be black, acting black and everything. Rapper. Because he used to date rappers. And you think it's going to be okay with us? Yeah. I want you guys to know, being black is profitable.
Kylie Jenner created this alter ego of this personality because she was dating Tyga at the time, and all of Tyga's girlfriends previously were black. Like, she's trying to reheat nachos that were already reheated before she reheated them. And you can tell that her heart is simply not in it because she's playing it too safe. How the fuck are you gonna be King Kylie and you don't have the colored wigs? You got blue extensions, but where's the wigs? Where's Tokyo? Like, where is your token black friend that was very pivotal in the King Kylie era, you know? Like, if you're gonna be King Kylie, you need to pop out with 13 Cartier bracelets on your wrist, a hot pink wig, and you need to be rapping rap music in all your videos. And if you really want to make a statement while you're rapping the music, you cannot blur out the N-word. Like, if you really want to make a statement and say that you're bringing King Kylie back, say the N-word. Like, that will make me believe it, sister. Like, if you're gonna put the costume on, you gotta put it on all the way. Because in a world full of fucking bad babies and goddamn Alabama barkers, King Kylie's at the bottom of the fucking totem pole.
There wouldn't be King Kylie without black culture. The wigs, the lip filler, the curves, the streetwear, what she now calls the King Kylie era. It represented a new persona that completely refined her image. And around that time, she was also dating Tyga. Tyga had a label called Last Kings and a son with Black China called also King. So when Kylie and Tyga started dating, she also started calling herself King Kylie. Their relationship wasn't just personal, it completely influenced her brand. And let's be honest, the whole King Kylie era was built on elements of black culture. Kylie popularized it, but those influences already existed long before she adapted them. Even her makeup brand launched the overline lip. They mirror styles that black women have been doing for so many years without the same credit. This isn't about bashing her. It's about recognizing how much black artists and culture shaped what became one of the most iconic eras in pop culture. And yes, that Tyga era was a huge part of that.
Man, at this point, black culture is not even just profitable. People will literally just immerse themselves in it. This is crazy.
I think Kylie Jenner is not able to reheat her own nachos with the King Kylie era because she is unable to remember or understand. She was never really in that moment able to understand why she was famous in the first place and why people were so feral over her. We as the audience might be able to explain that to her, but you have to understand she's taking advice and direction on how to redo this era and bring it back essentially for the 10-year anniversary from people that are in her circle. I'm going to speak as somebody that was an adult during her King Kylie era, and I say that because people that are teenagers or younger during the time have like this weird revisionist history of how that era really went. And I say that because whenever I bring up the fried chicken thing and her doing a photo shoot with fried chicken, y'all all, get confused. And I'm not here to talk about her, cosplaying black women, black culture, her constantly triggering black women as like a joke with her sisters, or, how she was basically doing this whole King Kylie era at the behest of her, pedophilic boyfriend who was basically the puppet master of the entire thing. I'm not here to really talk about that. Actually, I might revisit that. A lot of her brand, what at that time was influenced by black culture, Black China, Tyga being the puppet master. Also, her being like, hey, I'm white and I do this. I'm white and it's just not for black girls. You can do it too. A lot of the reason why white girls today, Mexican girls, any girls without curly hair are wearing braids right now is because Kylie Jenner told them they could fucking do it. And they said, well, Kylie does it. It's just hair. Also, why didn't you include the real architect, Heather Sanders? Tyga's best friend's girlfriend that you got the whole look from. Like, let's really talk about it, babe. Tyga is a very important part of why she's unable to redo this whole King Kylie era, because he was the one basically telling her, yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. Yeah. He was really like the architect. He was the La Roche of her, you know, becoming King Kylie. People in your circle can't really tell you what's going on because none of them are black. And you can say Carter, but wasn't he even there during that era? No. Call Jordan. But again, she really was just there for the flights, a roof over her head, and for the vibes, okay? She really didn't know what was going on half the time. I don't really think that she understood why she was famous, and I say that because I don't know if y'all remember, but Kim was trying to copy what Kylie was doing and failing miserably. It was giving super senior, okay? She cut her hair. She was trying to dress like Kylie to be like, hey, look, I'm relevant too. And it was just kind of like, Kim, step to the side. And I think we're in this era where if Kylie would have roped the new generation into her promotion, babe, this would have went completely different. You have to look at who's popping right now in that family. People, good or bad, really, really gravitate towards North. North is doing a lot with her makeup right now. And if you want to encourage her and also make a little coin along the way, bring her into the fold. Have her do a little, you know, have her promote the makeup for you. Have her do a little makeup tutorial saying, I'm using Kylie. Like, that would have really like got the girlies going. Y'all went about this whole marketing strategy all wrong. You should have incorporated North into it because she's the next generation. Yes, she's not your daughter, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Y'all family, like, come on, work together. Yeah, I don't really think she understood. I think she was shocked, you know, when her lip kits first sold out. I think she was shocked that she was getting, you know, so popular on Snapchat and Instagram and stuff like that. And that, you know, people stopped looking towards Kim. People started looking towards her. She's just like, I'm just a teenager. Why are y'all looking at me? What's going on? You guys are interested in what I'm doing? Okay, well, cool. You can't reheat the nachos if you were never the cook. You were never the architect. Baby, you were just an avenue, okay? The way that you were being puppeteered and marketed was the main point, but you were never privy to the marketing strategy. You didn't understand the sauce. Unfortunately, the sauce has seasoning that you're out of.
Yeah, seen Kim has done schemes like afro hair, like pubic. Yeah, seen that. Being black is what? Profitable. Being black is what? Profitable. People will wake up any day and wanna be black. Every single day they will want to do something that has to do with black people. Before you know it, we got some grills and braids. And then they say innovation. We have innovated. This is my style now.
Bless her heart. She really does think that she'll be able to make a comeback and be as relevant as she once was. Girl, it has been 10 years and you're a single mother. In this economy, in this political climate, you're not getting tickets to that event. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, King Kylie. The reason why she can't reheat her King Kylie nachos correctly, is because they were never hers to begin with. If you was around and in celebrities business back then you would know that she took her inspiration from her former bestie, Heather Sanders, but she never credited her. You can't reclaim and revive what was never actually yours. Hi, my sociology friends, and welcome back to episode 8 of Yarnalytics. It's been 2 months of this series. That's kind of crazy. Of course, every single week when I release an episode, I go through the comments and I read them. And I have seen the comments about starting a Substack or starting a podcast. I'm not gonna lie, starting a podcast is definitely more likely than starting a Substack, because I really like podcasts. I really like to listen to stuff. I don't know, how do I even start that? Who knows anything about starting that? Let me know. I'm gonna go do some research. But yeah, this is kind of exciting. On this episode of Yarnalytics, we are going to be talking about cultural appreciation versus cultural appropriation. Cultural appreciation is when you learn and you honor a culture. For example, Beyonce is an African American, but she's not actually Nigerian. And when she wanted to incorporate Nigerian dances into her tour, she went back to Nigeria and learned all these traditional dances from the actual originators. Cultural appropriation is when you take from a culture for aesthetics, profit, or clout without giving the originators credit. I'm going to be giving you guys some very, very clear examples of cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. The sociologist Stuart Hall actually called culture a site of struggle, meaning the exchange of culture is never neutral, it's tied to power in history. And through these examples, I hope I can explain his point better. So briefly, on my first ever Yarnalytics video, I spoke about Amelia de Moldenberg and Chicken Shop Date, and I think this is an example of cultural appropriation. The reason why I really like this one is because I don't think it's as clear cut as blackfishing or appropriating other cultures' clothing. I think this one is more layered. De Moldenberg and Chicken Shop Date, she's celebrated for what black creators are often mocked for. Chicken shops are seen as low class, they're seen as budget. As we can even see with this debate on TikTok, everyone's like, if your girlfriend eats chicken and chips, not a bit of me, get the ick, Coded language that she uses, which is not her everyday style, comes from London youth culture. But while creators who would use this same style, often labeled as being unprofessional or too much. Emilia is celebrated for being quirky and ironic. Can you literally imagine if you had a ethnic minority creator that was there and giving like dry responses, looking a bit fed up? They'll be like, oh, she's so unprofessional, da 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 da. And now they've repackaged it to be, oh, she's so quirky, like, oh my god, how does she know this word? This is so crazy. She eats chicken and chips. Comes across as almost like a circus. I think that's a perfect example of the privilege of palatability. Depending on what you look like, is your look palatable to the masses? Her whole aesthetic acts as a filter. It sanitizes the culture enough to make it marketable to mainstream audiences. Not to mention, she has profited from a culture that she is not part of, and not through over exploitation, but through accessibility. That's why I feel like when they see her eating chicken and chips and hosting her interviews in this space, it's like, oh my gosh, because she is not a part of this culture at all. She's allowed to tap into the humor, the language, without facing the same social penalty that a black creators face for embodying the same traits. It is not picked up the same way at all. And that contrast literally exposes how the industry rewards cultural proximity and minority not actually being part of that minority. And this nicely links into what I was talking about before when I was talking about cultural capital. Pierre Bourdieu's concept of cultural capital applies. She can use working class culture as a currency because her status protects her from its stigma. This is undeniable. Actually imagine someone has actually lived and breathed, grown up in chicken shops, being on the BBC and having a show on the BBC. No, it's not happening. They're gonna call it ghetto. The far right would literally, all of them would burst into flames. However, a positive example of cultural appreciation is Ariana Grande during her whole Japan trip era. I don't know if you guys remember. We all know Sister Girl has many errors, many errors. Instead of cosplay, she actively studied language, worked with Japanese artists for the merchandise, and this I feel like showed curiosity over consumption. She wasn't just there just to profit off of them. She actually had a genuine interest. This is what I feel like many Western pop stars are actually criticized for. They are treating the culture almost like a costume or an aesthetic. Take it and steal it because it feels like a trend to them. But this is people's real life. Culture is rooted in history. Also, another thing that I feel like she did really well, when people often get called out for cultural appropriation, they are very defensive. But when she got her 7 rings tattoo, she actually got it wrong. It translated to something like small grill or small barbecue grill. I don't know. She responded with humor but also humility. She was not doubling down defensively. Ariana Grande was a good example of cultural appreciation, not cultural appropriation. This one actually made me sad and I was doing my research, but me and my friend Adrian, yeah, we talk about this all the time, but Timbaland in his Arabian beat era, that whole time when all the artists were just stealing, what's that all about? In the early 2000s, Timbaland, he's a producer, and he was sampling Middle Eastern and South Asian songs, like, you know his song Big Pimpin' and Indian Flute? Him naming the song Indian Flute also does not count as him giving credit, by the way. Literally exoticism, taking something foreign and bringing it to the Western world to sound fresh without actually understanding or crediting the original culture. You can't just go to someone's homeland, take something that they have created as a form of resistance against the West. They don't want to be westernized, and you can't bring it to the West and you claim it off as your own. Are you crazy or what? Like, look at the success that he had during that era, and he never credited the original creators. Well, he did in some, but not the way he should have. Edward Said, a sociologist, he has a theory called Orientalism, and it perfectly explains this. West come and they romanticize the East as being mysterious or primitive or all unknown or exotic, and they come and they steal the culture for aesthetic gain. That is completely and utterly incorrect. You can't do that, no. He had done what Ariana Grande had done and actually proper immerse himself in the culture and give him credit, then that could have been classed as cultural appreciation over appropriation, but he did not, so no. However, a really nice positive example of cultural appreciation and not appropriation is Coldplay and Beyonce and the Hymn for the Weekend, that song that they did. I felt that song was everywhere, but I digress. This one could have gone very wrong. So they worked with actual real Indian directors, they featured real Indian actresses and showcased authentic Indian festival visuals, and they did it with respect. Beyonce wore fashion actually created by real Indian designers and not Western replicas. This is the whole thing about cultural appreciation and appropriation. No one's saying that you can't take inspiration from other cultures. Of course you can. That's literally what globalization is about. But she went right, and so did Ariana Grande, by actually going to the original source, not come back to America or the rest of the Western world and acting like you came up with it and using Western replicas. No, from the original creators, and she credited them as well. Cultural theorists often speak about this hybridity, and this is where cultures meet in ways that produce new meanings, and they produce these new meanings through exchange, not exploitation. Western and South collaboration, not exploitation. So Beyonce and Coldplay, you guys get £5 for displaying cultural appreciation, not appropriation. So yeah, these are my examples of cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation, but the key point is that you actually credit the original creators, and You don't act like this is a brand new topic that you've come up with all by yourself.
I'm not gonna let y'all gaslight me, because Kylie was pretty bad in her wannabe black phase. Okay, I remember it very clearly, but she wasn't as bad as Alabama. I think people think that because she was more low-key about it. You know, she wasn't as loud about it and people thought it was cooler. Alabama's just messy and thoughty and disrespectful. Kylie was just like a snow bunny feeding off of black culture vulture. This is the same girl that literally posted a picture wearing cornrows and braids and said white girls do it better, and then she was trying to fight with a black girl just because she posted that. Her Snapchat username was literally Kylizzle my nizzle, Kylizzle my nigga. You can't tell me she didn't say the N-word. The way she used to post her Vines, Snapchats, and rap and be like, and I said this mine, and when she was like copying her black friend, dating black men, copying their exes, Black China, Heather Saunders. Bro, I don't even know why she's wearing yaki hair here. And she did have a black scent sometime. She just wasn't vocal about it. But I agree. I don't think she's as annoying and bad as Alabama, but she was also problematic back then because she was cosplaying as a black girl just to appease black men, getting lip fillers, heavily tanning, using black scent in rap to like attract black men. The black woman mannerisms, this and this. Now all of a sudden she wants to be white. No. Don't gaslight me. I'm out. Because she went from having black friends and dressing like this to going to this. So no.
Kylie over here trying to revive the King Kylie era. She tried like 3 times. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. She over here popping out with the teal extensions. No, we need the teal bust down. We need the teal bust down. You 2 kids in, you done cleaned up your image and everything. It's not gonna work. That era was working because you just had the fresh BBL. You was dating Tyga. You was friends with Jordan Woods. You was surrounding yourself with the black culture. That's why it worked. That's why it hit so hard. Like, everything was new. Everything was fresh. You're trying to bring it back with the teal extensions, girl. Bring back the bust down. You want to bring King Kylie back? Bring back the bust down. That's what we need. Bring back the black culture. Bring back the culture you was appropriating. Like, if you want it to really work for real.
If I'm being completely honest, Alabama Barker is in her King Kylie era. She be popping out with the blonde bust downs, colored bust downs, black boyfriend, parties, tight-fitted clothes. She even modeled for Shane Justin. Like, if anything, she's in her King Kylie era. But Kylie just need to hang it up. If you're not gonna go back to what you used to do, just hang it the fuck up.
Kylie Jenner trying to reheat her King Kylie nachos is never going to work. And the reason it's never going to work is because King Kylie, that era, it was rooted in stealing black culture. It was rooted in cosplaying as a light-skinned black woman. King Kylie, that era, was just Kylie Jenner culturally appropriating black culture. And until Kylie fully commits to the bit, we will never see that happen again. Right now, Kylie Jenner, she's like in her Caucasian era, okay? She is back skinny. She has dissolved a lot of her lip fillers. She talks in her Valley Girl voice again. She doesn't use AAVE anymore, try to, use our lingo, use our slang. So until she fully decides she wants to be a light-skinned black woman again, I don't think we'll ever see another successful King Kylie era. Kylie Jenner holds on to that era so much because she was probably at like her peak popularity. I was there for the era, okay? I saw it in real time. And yes, it was iconic. The looks were eating, okay? Like, she was doing her shit. But now in 2025, looking back on that, it's like, damn. She was literally, like, that whole era, it was just her trying to be a black woman. And now, in 2025, we see that, we acknowledge that, and, like, with apps like TikTok and, like, YouTube and shit like that, people are not going to let that slide anymore. If Kylie Jenner start tanning her skin heavily again and wearing lace fronts and got her lips all plumped up again and was wearing the cornrows and dating the black men and taking black men from black women, if she did that now, what she did back then, it would never slide. And she knows that. But she wants that aesthetic. She wants that popularity from King Kylie. So she wants to like halfway put the blue wig on, but it's just a glueless wig. She's not really laying it down with 3 layers of the glue. She's not getting the bust down really bust down. She's just sitting it on her head and hoping for the same success. But unless you fully commit to the bit,
you'll never see the same success. Honestly, for my sake, as a black woman, I hope she never fully commits to the bit again, because it was actually really annoying back then when the Kardashians and the Jenners were like wearing the French braids, wearing the big hoops and all that shit. And in real time, I'm telling you, I saw this. Then it would become popular with white people and with mainstream media and shit. And as a black woman myself, it would piss me off, because I'm like, hold on now. When I used to wear my hoops to school, people used to call me ghetto. But now, the same bitches who was calling me ghetto, they're now wearing hoops because the Kardashians are wearing hoops and it's the new trend. So yeah, I don't know. That whole era, it was just, Kylie Jenner was dating Tyga at the time. He said himself that one time he told Kylie Jenner she needed to have black people on her side if she really wanted to be successful. She took that and she ran with it, and she took it a step further and tried to become a black woman herself. But I don't know. I think Kylie Jenner just needs to let King Kylie go. Let it be what it was. It was a moment in time that can never be recreated or duplicated. It's never gonna happen again, babe. Like, you gotta learn to let it go.
Now let's talk about Kylie Jenner essentially trying to relaunch the King Kylie era. She posted this on Snapchat for us to anticipate, and it's got a lot of people talking. It feels like her soul isn't in it. That is for the sole reason that Kylie Jenner and her King Kylie era happened around a time where she was heavily influenced by black culture, black looks, and black friends. Historically, I think she's seen that it was an era that a lot of people liked for obvious reasons, but now that she's kind of rebranded into, you know, future Oscar winner Timothée Chalamet's girlfriend, it seems like she is leaning more into what would be more acceptable with her being in a relationship with someone of that kind of caliber. One user even says that the King Kylie shit is awkward because so much of that era is based off of Tyga, even down to the name. Like, it's time for us all to move on. Honestly, if Kylie wants to sell some lip kits and stuff and, you know, launch something new, that's fine, honestly. But it's gonna be pretty hard to replicate an era that the Kardashians as a whole have completely abandoned.
Kylie Jenner, you're trying to bring back that King Kylie era? Listen, that whole aesthetic is inspired by black people. Let me remind y'all, first of all, I remember, I'm Kylie's age, so I remember King, why not Queen? Oh, I know, her ex, Tyga, his whole thing, his whole aesthetic was Last Kings, blah, 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 whatever. Boom. Who remembers her old Snapchat name? Kylizzle, my nizzle? My nizzle, boom. And then, who remembers when she gave that birthday cake to Jordan Woods and it said, happy birthday, my nigga? Anyways, my whole point, that whole rapper baby mama aesthetic is from black women. You stole that from Black China and Heather Saunders. Yeah. So listen, Kylie, you can keep your matte, dry lipsticks. We don't need that no more, you know? Alabama Bark is already doing it. She took your nachos and reheated them. Go co-parent with Timothy or something. I remember. You're not gonna repackage my culture. You're bored.
Y'all, so I finally realized why the King Kylie era is not hitting the same. Okay, it's not hitting the same because look. Here she go, right? Present day King Kylie. Old school King Kylie was black, okay? This is a black girl. No. She cosplaying a black girl because of Tyga. Tyga had her black. This is a black girl. Like, it gave nigga. It gave bad bitch. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, in the new era, it's just giving white. That's why it's not hitting no more. She's not doing it right. Girl, call Tyga. You know what? You know who she really gotta call? You really gotta go call your niece. Cause she doing it, I hate to say it, I hate to give her flowers, cause this is appropriating. She cosplaying a black girl better than you. Matter of fact, no. If anything, I just thought about this. If anything, this bitch cosplaying Star. If anything, and she doing it good, cause she eats. This is giving Star, but like this is what King Kylie 2.0 needs to be giving. It needs to be giving Alabama Barker. It needs to be giving Star Davis. Like, Star Davis would wear this. That's why it hits. Star, this is Tyga. We need Tyga. We need Star. We need Alabama. Like, cause this shit ain't hitting. It's just not giving what it needs to be giving, girl.
The internet is calling Kylie Jenner's attempt to revive King Kylie the equivalent of trying to reheat nachos. And I would have to agree, I do not think this is going to work for many reasons. A big reason being that she has made this very clear that this is her greatest hit. It hasn't even been a full 10 years yet, and this is, I think, her third time trying to bring this back. Another reason is that she's really not trying that hard. I think Kylie is convinced that if she does like one Snapchat filter with a dog, the internet will go crazy. But she does not have the same pull with the internet that she did back in 2016. And that's because Kylie used to interact with her fans on a daily basis on Snapchat. She amassed a following so big on there that I think she is still the most followed on Snapchat to this day. And now she's older and wants her privacy, which is fine. But if you're going to bring something back, you're gonna have to bring a lot with it. We also have the fact that she is not committing to the heavy makeup look that was very popular in 2016. And the biggest one is that she is not committed to appropriating Black culture as she once was. Look at how dark she did her makeup in these photos versus what she is giving the girls today. Then there's the fact that there's speculation that she stole her entire aesthetic from Heather Saunders, which is one of her good friends to this day. And I saw somebody say that if she did a proper collab with Heather, giving her credit and homage to it, that it would have came over better with the public. And I agree, but I've noticed that the Kardashians really have an issue with giving people credit.
Kylie put in some blue extensions, called that shit King Kylie era returned. No, girl. No high eyebrows, no contour, no overlined lips. Jesus Christ. And she's not 6 shades darker than what she normally is, so truly it's not historically accurate. Some would just say it's a cheap, pale comparison to what 2016 King Kylie was.